From LALATE News Headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings LALATE.
It's a big morning as $1,400 third stimulus checks undergo wave number 3. Yes, a wave of a third time is sending out $1,400 third stimulus checks if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits. If you're one of those 30 million Americans who didn't get that $1,400 third stimulus check from wave 1 or wave 2, this is you. If you're on Direct Express, this is you. Meantime, other people may be getting it in the mail this week. I have all the big details. Also heating up, breaking developing news today about the eviction moratorium. Yes, you want to stay tuned for this one. Also, as the toast is toasting and the butter is buttering and the coffee is brewing, also brewing fourth stimulus to be debuted in 48 hours from now. I have a preview of what's in the fourth stimulus check bill. Oh boy, away we go. And ironically, fifth stimulus will be also this month as well. You see how things are going very quickly? They are. Meantime, Chuck Schumer has an idea to do not one, but 2 more reconciliations. Meantime, why was that video from the White House that said that the president had not made a determination about fourth stimulus not particularly accurate? I'll be explaining what's in the fourth stimulus. I'll also be going over that standalone bill that calls for recurrent stimulus checks. I'll also be going over the shocking developments from Wall Street right now, as Wall Street sees a major call occurring that impacts the markets, and also new surprising data about vaccines and doses. How a new report claims that the federal agencies are not getting doses out as so indicated. It's a big morning, and there's a lot happening from Wall Street to Main Street. I'm so excited you're here, and let's get ready to rock and roll with a major Mornings LA starting right now. Morning it is. $1,400 third stimulus checks. Fourth stimulus heating up within 48 hours and its debut. Fifth stimulus coming later this month. And a new shocking series of other developing news from Wall Street to Main Street. Boy, it's a jam-packed morning. And we also have that eviction surpriser. How are you? The toast is toast and the butter is butter, and I'm here, you're here. And thank you for joining me on a big jam-packed Mornings LA, the first of several broadcasts this morning. Boy, stay with me for all of them. The video right after this, I'll be getting into the live chat and interact with you one-on-one, and then after that, we're back again. It's a big morning with a lot of breaking developing news. Fourth stimulus to be debuted in 48 hours from now. An eviction moratorium, major announcement. Also, fifth stimulus. Meantime, great news from Chuck Schumer, why he thinks he has multiple reconciliation options available. And more. What a day. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I don't want you to miss a single video across the recording. Also, give a like. It's birthday week here on LA, so give some likes and get those subscriptions up. Give a birthday subscription as well. Also, consider becoming a member. Purple Power, Purple Hawk, or Purple Calcino VIP. Let's get to the breaking news, starting with the $1,400 third stimulus check. $1,400 third stimulus checks for Wave 3 went out last Friday. This channel has been exclusively reporting since last Saturday. Wave 3 has an effective date of Wednesday, March 31st for direct deposit, and later in the week for mail check. Who will get it by direct deposit and who will get it by mail check? Let me go over the details starting right now. Some of you will get it by direct deposit. Who would potentially get it by direct deposit? If you got the first stimulus check by direct deposit or the second one. If you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and railroad benefits, and you receive your benefits every month in a bank, big bank, or small bank, into a checking or cashing account. Third, if you use the Direct Express card. Number 4, if you filed your 2020 tax return early and you're not on benefits, but you filed that tax return early in February to update your banking account information. Who is likely not to get it by direct deposit? That entire group. Yes. What we learned a week ago today from Treasury is that a large, quote, large percentage of people expecting stimulus checks by direct deposit will never get them by direct deposit for this stimulus check, ever. Rather, it's coming in the mail. It's coming in the mail. And when they mean in the mail, it's either a mailed check or a mailed debit card from Treasury. The cards or check come in white envelopes or beige envelopes. They're skinny envelopes. They're easy to discard. There is no logo on the outside. There is no insignia. So if you don't look carefully, you could potentially throw it away. It does look like junk mail. And under second stimulus, some viewers did throw it away. When would you get in the mail? Later in this video, I'll explain when you're getting in the mail. I'll be going over the March 26 viewers who had that March 26 mail date. I'll be going over the April 2nd to 5th mail people as well. But here's what you need to know. Treasury's official word on last Monday, a week ago today, was that a large number of you will never get it by direct deposit. It's coming in the mail. How many is large? This channel has been tracking its analytics with 500,000 to 1 million viewers a day, and we see it at about at least 50% of you. Over the weekend, I got to tell you, I would say almost 60% of the viewers at least who have a tracking result for themselves show mail as the result, not direct deposit. Here's what you need to know. On Wednesday will be wave 3. It's March 31st. And the stimulus may land in your big bank, your small bank, or your Direct Express card on March 31st with no prior notification. 9 out of 10 times, stimulus checks just land by direct deposit with no prior deposit notice. It never shows pending. It never shows up on the IRS tool. It never tracks anywhere. It just shows up. I have had viewers who are at big banks, small banks, and also of Direct Express card getting alerts that there is a pending deposit for March 31st of $1,400 third stimulus checks. But 9 out of 10 times you won't get that alert. Now here's a sort of obvious situation. Sirloin's walking through the set with Captain Obvious behind me. If the check is coming in the mail, you ain't gonna get alert from your bank because they don't got your money. If the check is coming in the mail by direct deposit, by debit card, or by mail check, your bank don't have your check. So they are not going to send you an alert, and they are not going to know where your check is because they're not getting your check. It's in the mail. Remember, a large amount of you are not getting it by deposit. It's in the mail. Now, what should you expect for Wednesday? What should you expect for today? And what should you expect for Tuesday? Here's what you need to know. IRS Treasury, a week ago today, said that banks generally release funds on the effective date, but some banks may release funds ahead of time. We saw that in the first wave, we saw that in the second wave, and we will see that this week on third wave. In fact, we've already seen it. MetaBank and NetSpend over the weekend released some funds to viewers of this channel in advance of the effective date of this coming Wednesday, because banks just do that. First and second wave, Chime, Cash App, H&R Block, Green Emerald Card, and TurboTax were among the banks that released funds in advance of the first, March 17th, and second, March 24th effective date. So some banks may release the funds to you today, the 29th, or tomorrow, the 30th, before Wednesday, the effective date. But the big banks will not. The big banks release funds on the effective date. The effective date is like the date on the corner of the check. They release the funds on that date. Some banks may release the funds the day after. Meantime, how do you know if you're getting it by mail or by direct deposit? And what's happening with those March 26 mail checks that haven't shown up? I have all those details coming up in a second. But what happened over the weekend was quite surprising. If you had been tuning in to this channel, I've been running this video several times in which the press secretary to President Biden spoke about fourth stimulus, the next stimulus package. And she said in all the interviews, she doesn't have a proposal. She doesn't know what's in the proposal. She hasn't seen the bill, and it hasn't been done. Well, right after she made those remarks to press, the bill, she did sit down with one major newspaper, and actually detail that there is a bill. So much for that accuracy. So she sat down with a major newspaper and said there is a bill. As I told you, there was a bill. And that the bill is the following. The next bill is being split into two parts. So for purposes of clarity for this channel going forward, I'm going to refer to the one coming this Wednesday, part 1, as fourth stimulus. The one coming at the end of April, part 2, I will refer to as fifth stimulus. I think that's the only way to detail it. So what is happening in the next 48 hours? On Wednesday, the fourth stimulus package bill will be debuted by the president. The press secretary confirms. And what's in it? I have all the details with you right now. In the fourth stimulus package, there is stimulus, there is infrastructure, and there is climate. Now, what are the details? Well, what you need to know is that the details will be hammered left and right. And it's going to sound a little bit like 2020 with the Temple of Doom and Mitch Onse. Remember Mitch Onse and the Temple of Doom? Whenever Mitch would introduce something in 2020, people would just panic and send me DMs. Oh my God, did you see Mitch's bell? He doesn't have this in here again. Darn him, he left it out again. And then every time the Temple of Doom would do something and it would leave something out, people would just panic. Oh my God, the Temple of Doom, she left that out again. How dare her? Well, I just got to tell you, just keep it calm on Wednesday, because I certainly expect stuff will be left out and then put in. I'll explain that in a second later in this video, but let me tell you what is in for stimulus. It will have stimulus, obviously. It will have constructing a new electric power grid. It will have energy-efficient homes, and then it will have new electric vehicle charging stations. It will also have climate, and it will have infrastructure. Now, what do Republicans say about it? The number one infrastructure Republican, which is the number one Republican on the House Committee for Infrastructure, things are obvious like that, Sam Gray's Republican in Missouri, says, I like an infrastructure bill. A transportation bill needs to be a transportation bill, but it does not need to be a climate bill. He says it needs to be about roads and bridges, not about climate. Well, that's ironically what this bill is going to be. It's going to be about roads, bridges, and climate. And Nancy Pelosi, Temple of Doom, has already brought back the Temple of Doom for us, because she's saying we cannot just settle for what we can't recognize. It has to be a bill for the future. We have to recognize the climate crisis, crush the climate. So here we go. Temple of Doom 2.0. You ready? Meaning she's fine with infrastructure, she's fine with stimulus, but she's not taking out the climate. So what I need you to know, though, is there is a big, big shocker. Are you ready for shocking news? Let me give you the shocker right now, and hold that jaw because it's about to drop to the floor. You're hearing this for the first time on this channel right now. A new political report out today says that Chuck Schumer believes he has a lot more e-tickets, free tickets, than anyone had ever thought before. The last bill, the third stimulus check bill, was done by reconciliation, the tow truck with the tow hitch. The reconciliation bill did not need a single Republican to pass it, and that's why it was done by reconciliation. Well, as you may know, you're only allowed one reconciliation bill per Senate term. This Senate term goes all the way to September. So most people thought that was the only reconciliation bill this president can use until September, and that the president would have to get bipartisan support for the fourth stimulus and for the fifth stimulus. But a new report from Politico says, oh no, we forgot to add here. Why? Because the Democrats will claim that the third stimulus that just passed used last year's unused reconciliation they had saved up for this president. And so that they still have another reconciliation for fourth stimulus. My opinion of the situation, it's right. It's completely correct. So fourth stimulus can pass by tow truck and tow hitch. You're hearing for the first time right this morning on this channel. Congratulations. So if you think that reoccurring stimulus checks of every month to the end of this year of $2,000 a month for 6 months sounds ridiculous to a Republican, they may not be included in the discussion once again. Oh boy. But then there's more. Yes, there's more. I told you this is a big mornings broadcast. Is there another reconciliation? I'm going to tell you those answers. But first, here's a commercial break. I'll be back in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Mornings LALATE in a big day in which I just revealed that the Democrats have at least one more reconciliation in their pocket to do the fourth stimulus package bill without a single Republican vote. But is there the opportunity to do another one after that? 2 more reconciliations? Yes, says Chuck Schumer. A new report out today from Politico reports that Chuck Schumer believes that there's a rule that allows him to go back and do another reconciliation during this congressional period before September. That would mean that the bill you're going to see this Wednesday, reconciliation, using last year's reconciliation, unused, and that the fifth stimulus would be done under a strange rule, and you're going to hear a lot about this rule, called Rule Section 304. What's the concept? That you can go back and modify a prior reconciliation with another reconciliation. Wow, this is huge. If that's true, if the Senate parliamentarian agrees, that means that fourth stimulus to be debuted this Wednesday with stimulus in it could be done by reconciliation. Obviously, I agree with this. And that fifth stimulus could be done by reconciliation as well. And that's even before we get to September. Once you get to September, you get another one. Oh my goodness, here we go again. If you've just joined me, make sure you subscribe. You don't want to miss a single thing across the board, and I got a lot still coming up, including that eviction surprise. Yes, a surprise about the eviction moratorium. Also, like this video, and if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. I'm watching the chat, so say hi. Say hi, and I will say hi back to you as well. Let me tell you what's going on with that $1,400 third stimulus check. If you bank with the big banks, it will post potentially on this Wednesday. Big banks will not release the third wave of stimulus checks until this Wednesday. And that March 31st is the effective date of the third stimulus check. Smaller banks may release the funds the day before or may release it today. Some release it over the weekend, like NetSpend and MetaBank. Also, some banks may release the funds the day after. But what about those mail checks? Those mail checks encompass an enormous amount of viewers this channel. During the commercial break, I saw one viewer say they called up Direct Express and or IRS and said that checks will continue to go out until you ensure you get them. That's great news. But what I want you to understand is that I don't want you to think that there'll continue to be waves by direct deposit. Treasury statement last Monday was if you did not get it in that wave, then we're going to mail. And I got to tell you, this is where we are right now. I have hundreds of thousands of viewers who have a Mail 26 date result. And they did not get that check over the weekend, which was March 26th. They did not get the check on March 26th. So what's going to happen? Here are the three things that are happening today. One, that March 26th check will start to show up late. It did with a couple viewers. If it does, that's great news. Number two, that March 26th date will get rolled over to an April 2nd to April 5th date. More about that in a second. Or number three, that the check will land somewhere that we simply don't know. So far, we're going to monitor throughout the day, and I'm going to chat with you in the next video to see if anyone's mail check shows up today with an effective date of March 26th. What you need to know about this is that if you do not have a result for your name, if you go to the IRS tool, you go to any tracking item, and you show nothing pending, presume there is a high likelihood it's in the mail. Why? Because over 50% of the viewers of this channel have mail results. This includes people on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, and Railroad benefits are getting mail results. This includes people who got the first and second stimulus check by direct deposit. They're getting mail results. This includes people on the Direct Express card. They're getting mail results. So if you're one of those groups, which you likely are, it may be coming in the mail. So what about that April 2nd to April 5th date? Well, that's for the third wave of mail checks. And over the weekend this morning, some people are asking me, but LA, can you address the issue that falls on a weekend or an Easter, and that's a bank closed day, and the mail's closed that day? Let me explain something. If that mail date shows something like April 2nd, that is not the day the check is going out. It's also not the date that the check is landing in the mail in your house. Rather, that's the date in the corner of the check. It's the date literally written on the check. It is not the check date it's going out, the check date you're receiving it. And no matter how many times I mention that, people still think it's the day you're getting the check. So what is the day you're getting the check if it does say April 2nd? It's generally 1 to 2 days ahead of time, which means that if you show a check of April 3rd, you're likely to get it on the 1st of April. So then why have people from March 26 not gotten their check? This shows that there's something wrong in the routing of those March 26 checks. What the viewers and I learned together as a family over the weekend was that Representative Neal's letter was inaccurate. The claim was that people didn't get checks because Treasury didn't know where you are. That's not the case for hundreds of thousands of viewers of this channel where Treasury does say they know where you are. And they show a March 26 check date, and they didn't get their March 26 check. Today's the 29th, and they haven't gotten the March 26 check. It says their name. It says there's a check coming. It says it going to their home. It has their address. It has their name. It has their social security number. There is no missing information. The only thing that's missing is a stimulus check. So together as a family, we're going to figure out when and where that check's coming. And what I want you to know is that the head of SSA ensured that that information was delivered. But that's not why your stimulus check did not land. It's just not true. Meantime, what's also breaking over the weekend was that standalone bill from Representative Jalapal and Talib. And it would provide a $2,000 stimulus check at the first month and $1,000 in check every month. Now, the great news was her timing. The not-so-reality of news is her intention of stimulus checks until a year after the pandemic's over. What I need you to know is that forced stimulus will be debuted this Wednesday. And when you see forced stimulus, don't be alarmed and don't be concerned, because there's going to be a lot of modifications to forced stimulus because of where we are. Meantime, Wall Street has been battling with more about that $1,400 third stimulus check in a second. One of the things I want to cover with you is to see if you can determine whether you're coming by mail or not by mail, and when will those April 2nd checks be coming? I'll have those details for you in a second. Stay with me. There's still a lot coming up in this video. But one of the things I want to cut to right now is what Wall Street has been dealing with today. There's been something called a margin call, where someone takes a loan against a security, against a stock, and then the stock goes down, and then they don't have the interest to pay back the loan. Well, Credit Suisse was among the banks that got hit by a major scandal of defaulted margin calls late last week that are making news this morning. While at the time it's premature to quantify the exact size of the loss resulting from this exit, it could be highly significant and material to our first quarter results, notwithstanding the positive trends announced in our trading news, said Credit Suisse in a report. I'll have more about those details shortly, in a big day in which Wall Street's really trying to deal with the fallout of that. Here is where the Dow is currently. It's relatively flat, just $35 up. NASDAQ is relatively calm also, down $78. The CDC head, meantime, has just issued a warning of impending doom. Right now, I'm scared. I'll have that video probably in the next video. That's a breaking news report that I just have for you when I grab the screen. Elsewhere, great news about the CDC eviction moratorium. You have been asking, and I have the great news for you right now. The CDC eviction moratorium will be announced today to be extended to at least June. This is breaking news you're hearing for the first time on this channel right today. You've been asking, and I've been revealing. The CDC eviction moratorium was set to expire on the 31st of March, and it will be extended. The proposed date is believed to be June. I'll have the official announcement when it's announced. What is the CDC eviction moratorium? It's for renters, and it's also for people who rent homes. It applies for anyone who makes, as an individual, less than $99,000 a year, or a couple who makes $198,000 or less a year. To get the CDC eviction moratorium, you need to provide a declaration to the landlord indicating you're unable to pay the rent, and ensure that you'll pay the rent, otherwise you would face homelessness. Meantime, there's been a lot of excitement across the board in some of the parts of the market, including Southwest Airlines announcing they have pre-ordered 100 jets from Boeing, which caused Boeing to go up over 2.6% in pre-market trading. And this includes the MAX plane, which heated up news throughout all of last year. Meantime, a really surprising report out today from Politico says that the president's claim that the FEMA and National Guard staffed vaccination sites have been a success is actually inaccurate. The new report says that it's only doing 67,000 shots a day. This, what you call large-scale FEMA vaccination sites. They have not been a success, doing only 67,000 shots a day. Rather, why the numbers have grown for vaccinations across the country is because of the success of the pharmacy sites, which reportedly are now doing 1 million shots a day and 5 million over the last 4 days. A lot of developments across the board. Meantime, let me cut back now to that $1,400 third stimulus check. What you need to know about the mail check is that if you have no result for your name, if you have no result for your bank, if you have no pending deposit, a large, quote, large percent of you will never see it by direct deposit. It will be coming in the mail. And that mail delivery will likely come this week. We're likely to see those March 26 checks that have yet to be delivered this week. I'll be jumping in live chat to see if those March 26 checks show up. Also, we're likely to see those April 2nd to April 5th checks start to land as well. They generally land 2 days ahead of the effective date. There's a lot of viewers over the weekend that got the following. First, they got effective dates for checks of April 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Additionally, I had viewers get direct deposits of third wave stimulus checks from MetaBank and NetSpend. Also, I had viewers get alerts from their bank that there is a pending deposit on March 31st of $1,400 from big banks, credit unions, and also Direct Express. Finally, if you're just tuning in, remember that you will likely never get an alert if a check is going to land by direct deposit. 9 out of 10 times, it just appears. But a large percentage of you, according to Treasury and according to the analysis of this channel, over 50% of you will never see it land in that direct deposit account if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, or Royal Benefits, if you're at a big bank, small bank, or credit union, or if you're at Direct Express card, it will never appear. It will rather be in the mail. And so tracking stimulus checks in the mail is where I'm staying with you as well. We'll be tracking it for the deposit on Wednesday. But what I want you to know is that the vast majority of you will never see it in the bank account. It will be in the mail. And together as a family, we'll get those checks landing where they are. There's going to be a lot of happening in the next few hours on this channel. So we're going to see more about what the CDC announcement is, which is shocking. This is the spring break surge and the B117 variant, which has been a big issue. We're going to look at what is happening with forced stimulus 48 hours away, and the big announcement about that eviction moratorium. Great news across the board. If you've not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Also, like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcio VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and stay with me as Mornings LA continues.